Hello, let's look at another Arban duet today. This is number 30, and it's called Spanish Royal March. I like marches. It doesn't take a lot of explanation. You can listen to marches from all over the world. As a matter of fact, I heard a wonderful episode of an old radio show going through all over the world into all the different cultures and listening to marches, which every culture has marches. And one of the characteristics of a march is that it has some like verve. It's energy because it's a little military influenced, right? You see the troops marching down the street, with the band playing. It has that bounce. It's actually, and when you think about it, it's a kind of a dance. Now, what I want to point out today, and what I want you to listen for, is whenever you have something that's very, that's accented, it's marcato, that has that kind of rhythmic energy, any music like that, doesn't have to be a march, any music like that, you always need to find a balance with the horizontal sense of direction, with the line. So, boom, 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 see, that's vertical. And that's part of it. It's like if you were bouncing a ball, it's a vertical sensation. It's a graceful sensation of lift, as we talked about before. But a lot of times when we're concentrating on that, and especially when we're concentrating on the clarity or of the pronunciation, the articulation, especially when we're playing marcato styles, it can get a little bit vertical sounding. So the musician, that would be you as you're playing, wants to balance these things so that it makes musical sense. And again, that's a judgment call. So what I'm going to do is, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and play it. I'll go ahead and play it. Excuse me, I've got a cold. I'm going to go ahead and play it and see if we can get that energy that we're looking for. That's kind of a fun one. It's very simple, but it's got that good energy, and that's what you want to tap into. How can you bring that across? Now, here's what I'm talking about with a line. You feel the sense of direction? There's your line. You see how simple that is? But it's also it's a shape. It's a shape. That's the line. So when you're doing this, you want to be aware of the line. And a good way to do that is practice your articulation until it sounds exactly the way you want. So on my accents, I have that the pop at the beginning of the note and decay. See, that's part of the spice that's there. Then I have to decide what to do with the eighth notes. So those are a little bit more drier, more separated. And when I start doing that, or I start thinking too much about the beginning of the note, then things start to get choppy, and it takes away from the feeling of the line. So I've lost a little bit of direction. My direction has gone from going somewhere here to going up and down. And again, that's a judgment call. Sometimes that's exactly what you want in the music. But it should always be a feeling of movement of some kind. So you have horizontal movement, that flow of the line, and vertical movement, which is the bounce, hopefully a bounce. Could be a hammer, could be a lot of different characteristics. Those are the things that you're trying to go for here. So in the eighth notes, not sure I like that. See, I'm looking for something here. And when I'm satisfied that I've got that balance that conveys the spirit of the music, that something alive comes through the music, then I'm going to stick with that and kind of practice it in. And then I can be spontaneous in the performance, even though the music, the notation doesn't change. Every performance should be alive and different, not canned, shall we say. Okay, let me go ahead and play the second part. And then I'm going to point out some other interesting details from this with the second part. Okay, here we go. Okay, I hope that gives you something solid to work with. And again, you're trying to, you know, I'm giving the style to you from my interpretation, my imagination, and then you can pick up on that and see if you can match it and get down into the details. Now, here's something interesting that happens when you're playing duets. You got two melodic lines. Makes me think about music like Bach, a 5-part fugue. That is amazingly complex piece of music, and yet what you're conveying through all those individual line voices, like a singer singing at each individual line. And my wife's a pianist, so she learned these fugues when she was very young. And with a pianist, you get all this finger independence, and you're actually hearing and thinking and showing those different lines that are interweaving. When the lines interweave, they make harmony. And so listen to what's happening here. There's a spot in the piece. This is on the second line where you're going down through, this actually happens on the first line, the 4th and 5th bar. And the second line, that same passage as it repeats. What I'm going to do is play down the line in the first trumpet part, and then I'm going to play the second part so you can hear what's happening relative to the harmony. And that's what you want to listen for. So there's the upper part. You can see there's a harmonic tendency. It wants to go ahead, it wants to resolve. Now listen to it relatively speaking. I'm going to start on the 8th note passage. I'll do that again. Now, emphasizing the lower notes, and you can kind of imagine how they could ring through. Dom, dom, deem, dom. And that's exactly what you want to be thinking about. Enhance that harmonic relationship there. And the upper part is dee-da, 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 da, just cut this down a descending scale. But you have harmonic progression. A lot of times, we, being melodic instrument players, have a tendency to only think about the one individual line. And we're not thinking of it in the context of the harmony. And the harmony is where so much of the music is, especially in certain musical styles. So I think that gives you a little bit of stuff to listen for. And that's what I recommend. As you practice this, as you prepare to play it along with me, don't just play the notes. Listen to what I'm doing first, and then kind of take your cue from that. See how closely you can match it. This is a wonderful exercise. It really helps you to develop your musical sensitivity and will improve your ensemble playing tremendously. Get your ears reaching out to the other people that you're playing with. Okay, good work. Thanks for sticking with me today, and I'll see you in the next Arban duet, whatever that might be. Bye-bye. Have a good day.